What's up, NMO fans? This is your host, Alex Lexus, coming at you with the next installment of our YouTube broadcast show. I'm just coming at you with this really brief but interesting theory, or actually, it's a couple of truths in here, but I just wanted this to spark discussion. Now, forewarning, here's the disclaimer. Please do not turn this into a flame console war thingy. I mean, we've been there, we've done that. Let's leave that alone, okay? But, considering what has been going on with the Street Fighter X Tekken controversy and how supposedly the PS3 version is the superior version, well, let's look at a couple of things. In the past, you've seen companies that would develop on one platform, develop time and resources into that, and then work on the next one. So, example of this, Castlevania Lords of Shadow. Now, Mercury Steam was developing the game on the PS3 first, and then worked on the 360 version. Now, considering the type of game that Castlevania is, that's not really a bad thing. But then again, you know, importing and doing things like that, from bringing something from the PS3 environment into the Xbox, even though the Xbox is a little more easy, actually a lot easier to program for, as developers from id Software and many other companies out there have stated that the PS3 requires more time to get, like, you know, the desired effects out of it. So, for instance, you can take a game, like, for instance, let's look at Bayonetta as another example. I know the PS3 version of Bayonetta is visually inferior. I mean, like, I don't know what the hell was going on with that, but given that if you have more time with Bayonetta on the PS3, it would have looked just as sharp, just as crisp as the Xbox 360 version. You know, and then they start sparking on this debate, oh, who has better graphics, this and that. I mean, each system has their strengths, but you know, 360 does have a better GPU. I mean, the PS3 has a better cell processor. It's like having a super race car engine in there, but there's too many choke points in it. I'm not going to go into the specifics because we covered that a couple years ago on earlier segments when we used to shoot out in Plainfield. But basically, coming down to it, with the cell processor, the 7 cores, to program properly for it, it requires time. Now, in reading some of the statements from Capcom's developers, they even added more evidence to that. They're like, hey, we tackled the PS3 version first, da-da-da. I mean, when we saw the Comic-Con demo in San Diego with Ono and Harada playing as Kazuya, Nina, Ryu, Chun-Li, that was on a PS3 system. And then for a couple months after that, it was all on PS3. I'm like wondering what the heck is going on with this. It didn't really matter to me. I knew the game was coming out on both systems. Now, after seeing now the PS3 had so much attention, it became the version that it was intended to be. Okay? And with that, now they were done, da-da-da. Capcom had 2 years to produce this game on both systems. Now, how come you have to favor the one system under Sony, and then the Xbox One, noticeably, they were running out of time and resources to get the local co-op in there and to fix that down-forward diagonal input that does that crazy input glitch. I mean, I don't get it. I would have delayed the Xbox version and got the version that it was intended to be. But considering that the Xbox is so much easier and to program for, I'm telling you, fans, look it up. And Sony fanboys, you go look it up too, because you're gonna see that it's much easier to house 360 games because it's easier to port 360 games over to PC and vice versa. So, I mean, take other examples like Guardian Heroes, right? Guardian Heroes came from the Sega Saturn, and Sega Saturn was a difficult system to develop for. The PS3 has been deemed the Sega Saturn of this era. so much potential power, but sometimes, you know, considering how greedy the companies are, they're like, hey, we need this right then and there, and then, you know what, you'll never see the true potential of the system. You know, so Sony should have designed the PS3 in a way where, hey, bam, 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 just kick out the games. So what I think ended up happening was, yeah, they put so much, they pampered the PS3. Oh man, we know this is something that's going to be a daunting task to tackle, but once we're done with that, then we'll take care of the 360. With 2 years to develop the game, and then now you're running out of time, like, oh shit, we gotta hurry up, it's fourth quarter, we gotta get it done. And then you end up missing the field goal, which is not putting the local co-op and not fixing that input bug. So, fans, let me know what you think, because I think that's a valid argument, because whether Sony bought Capcom or Capcom sold out to them or whatever, I mean, hey. But to leave out a mode like that, it's making me look at Sony kind of funny and making me look at Capcom kind of funny. Why did they even agree to some of these things, and with the exclusivity and all that nonsense? I mean, I don't want to come off like I'm venting. I'm trying to be impartial, but think about it, guys. Think about it. The same product on two different systems, but in essence, the game is not the same product on both systems, because the PS3 offers everything that we were expecting to get on the 360. So, let me know what you think. I was trying to give you, like, the general, in layman's terms, what was my theory on why the PS3 version came out the way it was supposed to, and the Xbox 360 is lacking on, you know, with the co-op and that glitch. The games look identical to me, but, you know, we know I did visual testing on this TV, 1080p, where the 360 version can be scaled at 1080p, whereas the PS3 is locked at 720p. I think that's native, but I get a better picture on the 360 version. So, I mean, I put that in a forum, and it's just that I guess the 360 with its GPU is able to do that, as opposed to the PS3 one. Now, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But I think the PS3 version got pampered because of the structure, the infrastructure of the architecture in the core or the cell processor itself. It's harder to develop or requires more time, thus leaving 360 to kind of get the scraps in terms of how they allocated their resources. So, this is Alex Sessions coming at you. Please, I want to leave your comments below. I want to know what you guys think about that, because that'll make... I just want people to know what happens when they're making these types of decisions. And hopefully Capcom, seeing this, develop it on the 360 first, then put it to PS3, because you'll have more time. You'll have more time. If it's easier and quicker to develop on the 360 version, get that done. Put it for quality assurance, and then spend all your time fine-tuning and getting the other stuff. It's not Microsoft's fault that Sony developed their processor the way that they did, and thus requiring a lot of time. You know, so that's all I really got to say about that. There's going to be 2 more videos coming out this week, talking about different things. I'm going to tackle Ashura's Wrath and how it only sold 36,000 copies in the U.S., 16,000 copies more than Bionic Commando sold in the U.S. But that's going to be for another topic, because I'm looking forward to the DLC that's due out sometime this year, but we'll see. So this is Alex Lexus signing off. I will see you next time on the NMO Show. Peace.